your exotic skin, hair, and beauty source, and your one-stop shop for all your natural and organic skin and hair care, featuring authentic organic Moroccan oil and prickly pear seed oil and much more. Bringing you only the best, straight from the source and proudly produced in the USA. So what are you waiting for? Shop today at www.arganissima.com. Arganissima, New York. Your beauty is our...
Right. Folks, welcome back to the Fit and Fab channel, iHealth Radio, with your host, Hurricane H. New day, new show, new topic, and a new guest in the fitness world. And we've had many guests over the last couple of years about fitness, and fitness is a very, very huge world. I mean, it's a space that has so much diversity and methods and formulas and styles, and every time we have a guest, we learn something new. There's something different, and it's available, and people need to know what's out there. So our mission is to bring it all here and share it and give, what's available and how it can benefit you. And there is going to be benefit to everyone. So with me, I have someone who is an author, a fitness instructor, a business person, and a public speaker. She does a lot of things. And for many, many, many years, she's been in the world in the space of fitness, and she has her own company, Perfect Balance. And she's going to talk to us about the fitness world, her style, her way, and how that differentiates from others and varies in different ways from, maybe other formulas and methods. So with that being said, Pam, welcome to the show. How are you?
I am thrilled to be here. And what more perfect time of year than the beginning of the year to talk about fitness?
Yes. Well, listen, we know the perfect saying. Everybody at the end of the year, like, New Year's resolution, I'm going to go. And a lot of people actually sign up at gyms. We know that, right? I mean, unfortunately, they don't last, but that's another story. We can talk about it too. So,
yes, it's my gym actually this year did not have the influx of people that it normally does. I don't know if people are still weary to go to gyms, but normally you got 3 weeks and the regulars are rolling their eyes like, oh, one of these newbies going to be gone. And then usually by February, they're all gone.
I've been there. I know exactly how that feeling is. Like when you're like in the gym for many years, and then like every January, February, you got a disinflux, and you have a lot of new people and doing this stuff, and then it gets crowded, cluttered. Too many people. You can't get into any machine, whatever. Classes are packed, and then all of a sudden it dissipates, and then it picks up a little bit around the summer. Everybody needs to look good for the beach. Gonna dress again. It's just amazing. But you're right. You mentioned something very important about this year. It's different because we are still kind of post-pandemic, if not even still in the pandemic. I mean, it's lighter than 2 years back, but people are still kind of not sure about the gyms and how it works, and the just the risk that there is, especially with Omicron now, still very, very I guess contagious. People are very leery about it, and maybe there were also mandates about masks at the gym. People are not really happy about those, and we'll talk about all that. So first things first.
Yes.
Pam, take us to your journey. I mean, I know you've been doing this for a long time and you've built this concept over the years. You got into the fitness, I'm sure, somehow. So tell us a little bit about that, just to give us a context of you and your, I guess, vision.
Well, I've always loved to be active. Growing up, I had 2 big brothers. So when they had to babysit me, I had to play all the sports in the 70s. I mean, football, basketball, baseball, tag, you name it, but I always loved it. And then my dad was a great runner and was a recreational runner before it was even cool. I mean, this is the 70s when Nike had one running shoe out. That's how unpopular it was. And one day I just said, hey, can I run with you? And we lived in Connecticut at the time. And he was very kind to me and took me to the high school track instead of making me run all the hills in our city that we lived in. And I ran 2 miles without stopping. And it was, for me, the best feeling in the world. And so I started running. I ran all year round. I didn't stop. I did all the track and cross country, very mediocre. I was never the best, but I loved running, and I loved running with my friends. And then after college, I grew up in Ohio, went to the Ohio State University, where I did aerobics. I did Buckeye aerobics. I did weightlifting classes. My friends and I ran marathons, so I continued to be active. But when I came out here, one of my first roommate was a group exercise instructor, and I would take her classes. And she said, "Hey, Pam, there's a junior college that has an 18-week course on how to be an instructor. You love to work out. You should take the class." I took the class, and I was actually pregnant with my first child. I have two kids. And I thought this is a great job because I want to inspire others with my passion and love of health and wellness and fitness. So I became a group exercise instructor. And then 3 months later, I thought I probably should get my personal training certification because I'll probably be training some women who take my classes. And that was 25 years ago. And it was the greatest job ever while my kids were growing up. I loved every minute of it.
Well, thank you, Pam, for sharing. There's a few things that came out of that intro. One is, first of all, I know you're not on the East Coast now because you said here, and you were in Connecticut, so you're and I'm assuming California somewhere.
Yes, yeah.
And so the weather is definitely different, and the landscape is maybe similar depending where you are. Also, something that's funny when you said it, you talked about the sports in the 70s and all the stuff you did. That has changed over the years. Today's generation doesn't have those things. I mean, they do, they just don't use them. There's less people out there playing football and baseball and stuff as, back in the days, unless you're in the league. And there's more people playing tag and things like that. Kids are confined to space, which is amazing, how things have transformed and changed over a few decades, but it is what it is. But it caught my mind when you said that, like, oh, wow. People listening, watching, like, people did that. Yeah, they did. And some do still, but it's different.
Oh, they did. And our parents kicked us out of the house. It was like, don't come back until you hear the dinner bell. We were out for hours during the day back in the day. And when I lived actually in Connecticut, my friend and I, now there was no sidewalks back where I lived in this little tiny town. We would ride our bikes probably 3 miles to Friendly's, eat lunch, and then go hang out in it's called Caldor, like a Kmart type store for hours. Our parents didn't care. It was just like, get out of the house, go be active, go play.
Listen, I remember those days. I've been there myself. If it wasn't a school day, you're out there.
Yes.
That's the bottom line. Holidays, vacation, you're not home. You're just like, get up and get out and come back later for food, and that's it. Yeah, I mean, again, every generation has own, and but really, the reason I mentioned that is that it gave you that base, that foundation. I mean, you were outdoors, you were this, then you started running. It's all active lifestyle, right? And then obviously you made it a career path, and then you took something different. Some people do it for leisure and just fun. You took the next step. Why not? Let's do this. I mean, got yourself, a formation just for fitness and classes and aerobics. Then you went into being a certified personal trainer, which is, something important, because if you want to teach people one-on-one, you need to understand how to operate them. And then that was the beginning of the next stage, which you started your own, I guess, concept, right? Am I getting that correctly so far? Okay.
Yes. So when my youngest went to first grade, I thought, I have 6 hours to myself. I could actually start my own business and go to people's houses. When my kids were younger, they would go to the gym daycare with me, for the hour or two that I was there. But then I thought, I need to actually get a business license and get insurance, because I want to go to women's houses. I want to also, hey, I am a veteran of 15 marathons and 8 half marathons. I could be a running coach. I can actually go out and do things like that. And back in the day, that was 15 years ago, the perfect balance was just food and fitness. Oh my gosh. Now it is meditation, stretching, yoga, rest. It is so much more all-encompassing than just 2 things, because I'm older and wiser now. And I know the perfect balance is a blend of your whole lifestyle, not just 2 things.
Well, it is a perfect balance. I mean, first of all, the fitness part and the nutrition part, I mean, that's just one. It's, and you mentioned the keyword lifestyle. A lot of people go to gym for purposes or limited purpose. They go in, they have a task, I need to fit a dress. I need, to go to the beach, the New Year resolution, as we mentioned. But it's really, it's something that you have to, once you acquire it, it has to stay with you. And if you love it, it will be for life. And a lot of people are almost career path. Even if they're not making it a business, they have it themselves. That's just, they can't live without it. Their lifestyle has to include anything fitness and nutrition and healthy living and things like that. And a good example, I like to cruise a lot, and although last couple of years been a little missing that action. However, when we're on the ship, I mean, every day we have to have a point of the day where we hit the gym. And, the funny part is a lot of people, there you go. A lot of people, when you go there, I mean, you might find maybe 10, 15 people that are regular and, at times, but the rest of the ship is really not at the gym. Everybody else is at the buffet or at the pool or at the bar, so we look like, little freaks in there because like, oh, these are the wannabe gym members or whatever they want to show. People actually do look at that and they look at you weird, but you know what? It's part of you. Like to me, when I'm on vacation, that has to be part of it. I mean, and actually I love that because it makes my day go nice. Everything is going and I enjoy it. When you get into the business world, sometimes you get, you have to make it to the gym, sometimes late, and you're not dedicated. But on vacation, that is an hour to 2 hours max, without any stop. I'm going there and that's it. Music on, cool. And it makes a very different feeling about it. And again, I just wanted to share that because it was funny when you said, the balance and lifestyle. And again, it is lifestyle and it has to live with you at home, everywhere. I mean, I was in a company where they had a gym at the company. Actually, literally, we had the gym there. I mean, you pay for it. It was like $30 a month, but tax free or pre-tax, whatever they call it. But you had it there, so you can grab your stuff and go there for an hour and shower and go back to work. I mean, so there are places that do that, but it's not always available. I got lucky for a couple of years; we had that option, but some companies actually pay for you to go to the gym. So, but the concept of fitness is something that, and I want to drill that to our audience, is just that it's something that even if you haven't started yet, you can start. And once you start enjoying it, if you find a nice place and nice formula that gives you the balance, that gives you everything you want, and there's a social aspect to it, you'll have a very healthy and very active life and enjoy your life better. I mean, everything changes about you. So again, I'll stop with that and then we'll catch on in your balance between the beginning and then where you are today. Obviously, you said something about initially was food and nutrition, and then the actual fitness piece. So you mentioned aerobics before, actually. Is that how it all began with you and the balance?
Well, that was my, job, just teaching group exercise and personal training. I've been a lifelong runner though. I always did that on my own. I never considered my teaching to be my own because I was there for my class. That was not my workout. Even though I did work out, it was for everybody else. So I always had to have something to myself. And I love what you said about vacation because you have nothing but time on vacation. And when people say like, I'm not going to work out, it's vacation. I'm like, your body works so hard for you every day. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to crush it, but you should be doing a little bit of something most days of your vacation. I understand jet lag and stuff like that. But for the most part, you got a gym, might as well use it.
Well, again, not only vacation, even business trips. I mean, I go, I used to do a lot of these conferences and things like that. Whenever I'm somewhere, I have a bag, that is gym bag, and there's always a gym at a hotel and there's a pool. So there's two things that come along, swimsuit and your gear for the gym, and you do it. I mean, again, I sound like a crazy guy, but nope. I grew up in martial arts since I was a kid. So always working out since I was 9. I've been active, maybe even earlier than that, just playing, soccer and everything else. I was a soccer boy, but that was because I was overseas and soccer was the actual football. So that was it. If you don't play soccer, something's wrong with you. And then I started doing everything else, and martial arts was really my thing. And, but after that, even when I was working at Disney, and I was one of the routine guys at the camp, the residence where we lived. I mean, we were all Disney employees in college program, and there was a few of us that were there every day. You finish from work, you come in, and at 6:30 everybody is there. There's a clique there that hangs out and has fun. So it was really an opportunity for me to build more, and from that point on, it became more and more relevant that I'd like to be at the gym. Period. And I joined many gyms over the years. And it was always fun. Aerobics was something I used to do. I met, one of my best friends in the class. He was actually an instructor, and believe it or not, he introduced me to the industry of insurance, which is where I, made most of my career path. And he made me love actually the concept of aerobics and classes and, group classes and things like that. And although I never certified personally into it, I've always, been part of it. And it was fun and I still enjoy it.
It's a great environment, and you get that little family that each class has their own family, and your friends, your weekly friends, and you hold each other accountable. And the environment when the music's great and the class is great, nothing is better than that.
Oh, there's nothing. Well, you're right. I mean, it's that you mentioned something very important there. It becomes a family. You're right. They become real friends. And again, I'm telling you, he became my colleague at work. He gave me an opportunity in an industry that was still a baby industry then. And I made it, through the ranks over the years. And I still thank him because it was up, because of him, because of the gym and him, I am where I am today in my career path and, my experience and all the stuff. And I had all the positive experience from being at a gym, period and out. And it's just, again, lifestyle. You got to make it. You got to enjoy it. You got to really embrace it. And that's all. So let's talk about your concept. You started that way. You begun your journey into your own business. How was it in the beginning? I mean, I know it's not easy.
Not easy at all to build a client base. And luckily for me, I wasn't doing it full time. My husband traveled for work, so I was the mom that drove the kids to soccer. I still wanted to make all the meals and be mostly at home and work while they were at school. So I didn't have the pressure of, working 60 hours a week or working 40 hours a week to pay my mortgage. It was getting enough clients and having enough classes to pay for the groceries and, be here mostly for a mom, because when I got pregnant with my son, when I was taking that class, I knew I did not want to work full time. I wanted to inspire as many women, mostly women, as I could, but be mostly at home because I knew those years were going to fly by. And I was able to. I was mostly at home. I got to carpool, and make all the meals and do all the stuff. And I do not regret that for a second. Now I'm in a different stage of life because my kids are out of the house. My business has changed quite a bit since then. But at the time, I was happy with the clients that I had and the classes that I taught because I could still go to the grocery store, go to Target, do all the things that moms have to do all the laundry, which is another full-time job, right? I mean, all that stuff takes time.
Listen, while I cannot speak for mothers personally, I do have a wife and I know what she goes through. And yes, as much as we can help as men, I mean, I know there's just different dynamics, and she takes the reins of all that. And, it's a difficult, it's a job. It's a double job. I mean, really, Benson, all of it. It's harder, I think. We got it easier. Well, again, I help when, as far as I know, she's listening, she's watching the show. She's probably like, you did good. You did good. Hopefully I get the credits here, but anybody's listening. I mean, you do your best, but you're right. Again, I do appreciate everything that, mothers do and wives do in general, because it's a very, difficult balance, to do all the stuff that you do and still have a normal business and run the home and do everything else. It's not easy. So all the credits to you. So the business was primarily at home first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you expanded, I'm assuming.
Yes, my business changed in 2016 in December. I was out for a run and I got hit by a car. And I had to stop teaching and training. Luckily, I shouldn't say only, I lost 6 teeth that day and had to have a bunch of oral surgery. Didn't break any bones. My brain was great, but it took I think the universe said, okay, you're really good at your job. We're going to take you from in the classroom to expand you to reach more people, because I never would have been talking to you had I not been hit. I would have still been teaching in the classroom and, having my one-on-one clients, where I started okay, I can't go to work because I lost all my front teeth. I had to take a lot of time and surgeries I didn't, my beautiful dental team did, but I found a woman to make a website. Cause I'm a teacher at heart. I still want to teach. And so I started little by little writing books. I have 8 books out on Amazon, and that never would have happened had I not been hit. I have a YouTube channel now, which if anybody's listening or watching and you want to work out at home, I'm your gal. we're talking about theories of fitness. My theory now is I want you to work out not crazy. I want you to work out for your long-term health. We all need to practice balance. We all need to strength train. Our muscles protect our bones. And that's why so many older people, when they fall, they break their bones because they don't have any muscle mass. So my videos are mostly all strength training. I have a nice stretching playlist too, because we should all be stretching. But I love creating content. So I have a great YouTube channel. I have a beautiful website. I'm a local on my Fox 40 News. They call me their health coach now, which that is crazy and insane and wonderful. And I'm on a couple different apps as their active aging trainer, because they have tons of young people as their coaches, but they need somebody over 40 that other over 40 people want to work out too. So my life has gone a different direction now. But as far as fitness, you touched on this a little bit. I firmly believe everybody needs to be strength training at least 2 to 3 times a week. Everybody. Then find what you love. If you love hip hop, hip hop. If you love Zumba, Zumba. If you love Pilates, do Pilates. But you need to strengthen your body, your bones, your muscles with strength training. You're never going to get big, bulky muscles. But I will tell you this, because I had been strength training on the regular, I did not break any bones when I got hit. Being in excellent shape really did save my life. So that was a aha moment. Like, I have to get the word out there that 99% of the women I work with, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. Oh my gosh, let's talk about long-term health. Yes, I can help you lose weight, but I want you to be able when you're 70, when you're 80, in 5 years, I want you to be walking tall with great posture. We can talk about weight, which is all about food, never about the exercise, but let's exercise for health and not just exercise to lose weight, which doesn't ever work.
Pam, you're hitting a lot of key pointers here. And first of all, I'm sorry to hear that you had to experience that. And it's a crash, but your attitude towards it, is everything. And I think that's a message itself, because when you hit this obstacle, right, this life-changing experience, it didn't, kick you backwards. It actually gave you a whole new opening, new doors opened up. You saw value, so you had a vision, and you made it work. And that's in itself just an inspiration, motivation for people listening. I mean, things happen, and sometimes they are bad on the onset. I mean, we see them as like, it's the end, right? But then you focus a little bit more, and you're like, oh, as bad as it sounds it sounded at the time, it was a better idea for me. Now, it sounds weird. We're seeing it now, 5 years later, 6 years later, but yet, people may like, oh, I know it was difficult at the time, and you're only worried about what happened to you instantly at that time. But you're right. You thought about it. Your body did function well. You were able to be cushioned because you had enough muscle mass and so on and so forth. And you were also fit and healthy. Maybe that also, I mean, you're agile, you got hit, your movement was different, because if you're really just, boof, I mean, it's over, right? So there's a lot of things that could have happened, really. And I know for a fact when you're active and your body is you have a better chance of, your motion is different, your mobility is different, right? And so that's one thing, but you really turned it to a whole new world. Now you advanced, I mean, you use technology. That's the other thing. I mean, I think you were one of the fewer ones that actually utilized the online business and in the workout space. Now it's all over the place. I mean, apps and everything is like a dime a dozen. But you're right. Post-COVID, forget about it. But before COVID, there was only a few people that actually did this, and you're one of them. You saw the future already then, and you were a pioneer into it, and you did it. And you're right. You expanded. You mentioned something also important about you want to lose weight. Everybody wants to lose weight at any given point in their life. They know, and as you age, you mentioned something about somebody over age of 40. You're right. I mean, there's this perception, I want to look fit, and then you look at someone who's 20 or 18, and they're doing all the stuff. They got a nice mess. What that doesn't last forever, and there's a limited time frame on that one. And you're right. Not everybody can keep up with that shape. I mean, when we were that age, it was different. I could do a lot of things that I can't do now. I still try, but hey, there are limitations. Your body starts, responding differently to certain movements and things. But at the end of the day, you're right. People have to relate to who is in front of them as an instructor, and they have to see that you are in the same boat, and you can feel that what their illnesses are and things like that is different. And you're right. There's plenty out there. You can learn from anybody at any age. And that's important for any age group. They can see who is going to be that motivational person that they're going to follow, and that's great. But there is a big pool of people that cannot find the right, instruction. to help them guide. And a lot of people actually are not fit. That's the other part. Not everybody is looking like, again, I give the Barbie and Ken, look, concept, or like, the Baywatch stuff. It's not the same. Everybody has that feeling that everybody's going to look exactly chiseled and a six pack. And yeah, it's nice to keep up with that one as much as you can. It doesn't always work that way. You want to get us to something, Pam?
Yeah, no, it's interesting because our society, like 75% are obese right now.
Yep.
And the food is a big problem. I know we're here to talk about fitness. The food is a big problem, but I feel like in my experience over 25 years of doing this, when this time of year comes around, people go crazy. And I want to say, hey, now you're not doing anything. Let's start with 10 minutes. In fact, I have a 10-minute playlist on my YouTube channel, because if you're not doing anything, 10 minutes is enough. And if it was very easy, do it again. But people fail when they go, I'm going to go to the gym for an hour and I'm going to drink a gallon of water and I'm going to stop eating carbs, all the stuff that people say. Let's do this. Let's take baby steps to lead to success, because there's no finish line. Like you were talking about, you're going to work out for the rest of your life. Our bodies are supposed to move and not sit. So let's be moderate. And here's the thing. In our instant society, people want to lose weight like that, and that will never happen. However, if you just got to start with a little bit, you will see it along the way. But what I always say with weight loss is, it took your body, let's say 3, 6, 9 months to put on the weight, maybe a year. It's going to take you that long on the other side. You're never going to lose all the weight in a month, right? So
I would say much longer. I mean, it's easy to gain weight, harder to lose.
So easy to gain weight. Oh my gosh.
You can pop up a few pounds in one night, and it will take you a couple of weeks to shed them back again. It's amazing how the body works. But you're right. There is this whole society thing, which there is that the visual effect that we all have and expectations, and then you have the concept of immediate satisfaction. So I want to be like, snap a finger and then like, I'm in the best shape. Nothing happens that quick. Not even that I think happens that quick, but it's really as sad as it sounds. But really, that's exactly what people have to be realistic about it. Then you're right. A lot of people do these, I guess, abrupt concepts of a couple of months, and they get, even personal training. You do a personal training for 3 months and then you stop. Even if you get your results, as soon as you stop, the stuff is going to just come right back. This is, once you commit into this, it's forever until the end. And, and you will live a happier and healthier life because you have less problems, cardio problems, heart problems, whatever, blood pressure, diabetes, all that stuff gets away, from to the window because you're actually doing better for yourself. Then there's the other concept. A lot of people go to the gym or any program and they focus only on the cardio part. I want to sweat it out. I want to, I do a lot of cardio, but then you do all the cardio, you're losing, your fat, but there's no mass, there's no muscle, gained again. That's when resistance training, we're not even talking about like heavyweight training. We're talking about just resistance training and building that core, mass. And that's about it. You don't have to be like, diesel and, and buffed up like you're going to go into one of those competitions, but certainly you can make your muscles strong enough to be, solid.
Well, and so many people say, I'm just going to lose the weight before I start strength training. Stop it. Your metabolism will run higher from strength training than it will from cardio. And here's what extra cardio does. It makes you hungry. And if you're trying to lose weight, you don't want to eat more.
The way you put it there, it's just like, it sounds so simple. Right? Again, this is the purpose of the show, right? Is to give people simple. It's not rocket science. This is like a couple elements. You have certainly the experience, you've seen it, you've seen results, you've given, results to people. And you're right. It's a combination of all the above. This is not one versus the other. It's the whole, approach to it. You need to know when to eat and what not to eat. That's one, that's good. How to work out, what kind of exercise, combine in a little bit of cardio, combine a little bit of in resistance. You're right. If you just burn, you're just going to get hungry and that's it. And your body is going to like, I need energy. And that's when you wind up, and drinking sometimes that's another problem. You drink a lot of stuff that has a high, content of sugar, and you're just doing the same thing again. The sugar is going to convert back. So there's so many, I guess, approaches, and people sometimes they just take them because of lack of understanding, or maybe just they follow a certain formula. But the idea of you wanting to be fit, you can do the research. You can almost look at different angles, different classes, different schools, schools of thought. Either way, it's all good for you. Whatever works, but the idea is you have to know that one thing is not going to work for you. You need to have more than one thing to actually have the results.
And as well as the myth that will never die, I'm going to get big muscles if I lift weights. Ladies out there, men out there, unless you take tons of steroids, you're not going to get big, bulky muscles. Genetically, I've not seen one person who has not taken steroids to ever get big, bulky muscles. In fact, you will get smaller. Your body gets tighter and leaner with proper eating, of course. So if anybody else can think, oh, I'm going to wait to start lifting weights. No, start. Don't stop. Start today. Start tomorrow. Go to my YouTube channel. Go to any YouTube. Go hire a trainer. It is the number one thing you can do for your long-term health.
Well, that's an excellent point, Pam, because, weight training, I've been in the gym for years, and, I have decent muscles, and I'm not really chiseled, maybe at a point in my life I was, but I never got that bulky or that big where I'm like, the Arnold, structure. That's a different, type of build. And that's actually, to your point, the steroid, there's all kind of stuff that goes into that workout level to get in the weights and all the stuff and the food and the proteins that they take. It's a whole different, format. And the average person is not going to go that route. It's really just staying fit, nice muscles, to your point, to keep a nice motion. I had a show before with a doctor who is a unique therapist, and he has his own way, Dr. Yas. And his main thing, even with pain, back pain and chronic pain, was about muscles. Muscles can make your body stronger, your core is stronger, and therefore the pains and all the stuff that your bones may experience will probably, your posture, everything, that means everything gets aligned, so your muscle is guiding everything. As a matter of fact, I had one little problem the other day with my calf muscle, and it was just ridiculously painful, and that changed my whole thing. I couldn't even move properly. And so when one muscle is not operating, my walk was different. I was limping and all that. And that can happen to your back. It can happen to any other muscle area. And then your other balances and everything is going to look weird. And then your bones and your pinched nerves now begin to operate. So it's a lot more. So muscle is important, and you can't have it if you don't work it. The muscles in general, they just shrink if you don't pump them. And if you pump them enough, they'll just pump up again to whatever you build. Now, you can exceed that build, but again, to your point, then you need all the steroids in the world to really inflate. We don't want to recommend that, but that's a whole discussion topic. We can have it in a different show. So you do YouTube channels. So you have your app, you do YouTube, you do, I guess you do also consultations, right? People come to you and they can sign up with you.
Yeah, I do mostly, I have a one-on-one coaching, and I also have group coaching. My one-on-one clients mostly want to lose weight. So they log their food on my Fitness Pal for me, and we are friends. So I can see their food journals, and we talk once a week. They can text me anytime. I also can make workout videos for them because they're at different levels, right? Mm-hmm. So I have a older client right now, 65. My workout videos are probably too much for her. So I make her 10, 15-minute workouts, which I know what kind of tools she has at home. Mostly everybody else is one-on-one. And then my group is a private Facebook group where I go on live once a week, and we strategize, we game Super Bowl snacks. Let's talk about that. Holidays. Let's talk about how you're going to get through the holidays without gaining 5 or 10 pounds, because it is so easy with the amount of food that's around. So it's really, I want to support mostly women. I have 2 guys in my group, mostly women on their journey, because I think there's almost too much information out there that what do I do? I'm not sure. I'm pretty much no nonsense. I want you to strength train. I want you to eat real food grown from the ground. Let's stay away from most of the processed stuff. Drink a lot of water, get good rest. And when you have an issue, let's bring it up in my live and I will go over it. Because let's face it, I've struggled with my weight. In college, I was the overachiever, and I didn't gain the freshman 15. I gained the freshman 30. And I was a marathon runner, but I ate like crap. So you cannot outrun a bad diet. And then in 2014, I'm a very healthy eater, but I ate too many calories, put on 20 pounds. So I have struggled. I know what it's like to not feel good in your skin, to not feel good in your clothes, to grow out of your clothes. Oh my gosh, that's a terrible feeling. And now I feel like I've got the secret, but it's not a secret. It's eating real food and strength training and getting good rest and getting enough water. And I want to tell people, you don't have to buy anything crazy. You don't have to do any keto diet. You don't have to do anything extreme. You just have to have grace and patience with yourself along the way, because you will get there by having different daily decisions, right? When you go to the coffee shop, let's avoid the 450 calorie drinks that have 50 grams of sugar. Oh my gosh.
Plus all the cream.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the cream is just extra. Well, you mentioned a few things that, that are worth actually highlighting. One is, I know you mentioned something about you helping women, and you're right. Women and men, their bodies are different. Their metabolism are different. It doesn't matter what age, it's a whole thing. And also men have a different attitude in terms of their mental status, meaning they're a little bit more macho and they want to, that whole thing. And it's different, but you're right. Our audiences are diversified, and we and I am actually really happy that we're talking about this, because a lot of women actually sometimes they have this connotation, or this idea that if they work out too much, they're gonna get puffed up and look like there's this like a guy, and they say, well, I don't want to lose my femininity. I want to look good. I want to still look, nice, female looking, and not having all these cuts and stuff, and look real tough. It's not true. It doesn't happen that way. But again, I enjoy the fact that you mentioned that, because that's different. Also, you mentioned something about your modification of programs for age and different levels. Not everybody has at the same pace. It's like in martial arts, you're a white belt, you're not going to do the black belt stuff. And if you try, you're going to hurt yourself. It's the same concept. You go into a class or even in a group, you don't go do it at your pace. They might be doing it at 100%. You do it at 20%, then 30, and slowly but surely. Those are all important, points that people have to be aware of. And hopefully, it's not, to your point, it's not hard. It's really just, a couple of things that you need to be aware of. And if you apply them correctly, you'll see the results. It is a commitment. This is not going to happen. You talked about, crazy diets like keto diets and stuff. They might work, and there are certain, I guess, circumstances and limited times. But again, they're not consistent. You can't have keto diet for life. You can't do intermittent fasting for life. I mean, you could, but it's going to be very difficult. But the key here is you can have your food, you can have stuff, just know what to eat, when to eat it. The water, you mentioned something about hydrating water and stuff. That's important too. I mean, you have to know your balances and take it as your body can take it, literally. And slowly but surely, you will see everything. Like today, you start with 5 pounds, the next thing you get 10 pounds, and before you know it, you're 25 pounds. And you don't have to go beyond that. You can actually get the same results with 5 pounds that you can get with 20 pounds. You just have to do more reps, right? And slower reps. And so you can do the same without any, any weights, and you still get some. If you do the resistance and the reps and things like that, there's ways. You use those elastic things, the resistance bands, bands, they work. And that's like nothing, just elastic stuff that gives you a little bit of a pullback, right? And those are the things. But you're right. I mean, you're hitting all these elements that people should be aware of, and they might be even aware of it. They just may not think that they work. And you're a true leader in this world, and you know how this works. You've seen the results, and you have plenty of people that can literally, I know they have testimonials and things like that they can really claim. And people watching, listening, you can go check out the YouTube, you can check out the site, and you'll see that there are real people that have been, transformed and their life changed with Pam's, formula. Now, you did mention something earlier about it's yoga, it's meditation, and everything else. So let's talk about that aspect of it.
I believe our days are so busy that we don't take enough time to slow down. And everybody could benefit from either stretching or meditating. I am not a great meditator myself. I have monkey brain that I can't turn it off. So I use a free app called Insight Timer. Insight Timer has thousands of different meditations. 10 minutes during the day, maybe 10 minutes when you wake up, just to take the time for yourself, because I know as women, we are doing 800 things between 5:30 and 5:30. And sometimes we just need a little bit of time for ourselves. Also, in the world we're in now, I mean, you and I are upright, but a lot of times we're like this with our computer, with our phone. Taking time to stretch. In fact, what I tell people, I'm against a wall, is if you put your head, shoulders, and butt against the wall, and then you step away, I'm 6 feet tall now. Like, it's just opening it up, taking the time to stretch. And that's even when I was a teacher, I was religious about stretching the last 10 minutes of every class because you're going to work that hard. I always say stretching is like dessert for your muscles. And who doesn't like dessert? You worked hard. Let's reward your muscles by stretching. That's why I have 28 stretching videos on my YouTube channel. It's not just about go, 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 because that's going to lead to burnout. You need to take the downtime. You need to breathe. In fact, I have a 1 minute of peace playlist on my YouTube channel. I have an old friend who's a teacher, and during COVID, she's like, I am losing my mind. I can't work out. Can you just make me a minute of something? I was like, I could do that all day, every day. So I have a bunch of just deep breathing and maybe tilting your head to the side. So at some point during the day, we all need a little break. So taking that time, breathing, whether you do essential oils, that's delicious and yummy if you do that, but taking that mental break from your day will re-energize you. If you can do it outside and breathe the fresh air, if you're not buried under snow, that would be amazing as well. But we go, 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 and just bring it down for a little bit will just increase your energy and make you feel better for the rest of the day.
Thank you, Pam, for the advice. I mean, those are like key elements to your, one thing that people probably don't do, and I guess it's a big mistake, and and I've seen it at the gym. People come in, they work out, and they leave, and there's no stretching and nothing. They run into the class, they do this stuff, and they walk right out, and that's it. I've seen it, over the years, and in martial arts, for example, we do stretch before and after. I mean, that's just something that that we've been conditioned to. But it is not for everybody unless you're really trained and conditioned to this. You're right. People may not see the stretching as value, but stretching is otherwise what happens. You have muscle aches, you have problems, it hurts. Your body's going to ache, when your adrenaline's kicking, you're not going to feel it, but the next day, everything's going to be real in bad shape. And then that means you stop working out now you gain some weights, and then you're like in that circle, you're spinning wheels. Not a good idea. You said something about taking that 10 minutes and breathing and 10 minutes of just, relaxing. These are things. And that leads me to one question. What about sleep? What is sleep in your world?
Number one on the top of the health list. Why? Because if you don't get enough sleep, your brain is going to crave sugar the next day. You are not going to want to go work out because you're tired. You're not going to want to take the time to make a healthy meal because you're going to want something quick and easy. So when people say, what's your number one health tip? Thinking it's going to be food or exercise, I'm like, a good night's sleep. Now, everybody's different. 6 to 8 hours. If you can get 9 or 10, more power to you. If you're in menopause like I am, if I get 7, that's a great night. But keeping a bedtime, and I've often told clients to set their alarm to go to bed, because let's face it, there's a million great shows that we're streaming right now and you get caught up in it. But an early bedtime, is really key. Don't stay up till 12, 1, 2, especially as you get older. You probably can't. I can't. But going to bed on the regular and getting the amount of sleep that's right for you is so important for your overall health.
Thank you for that. I mean, I knew I had to ask that question because most people forget the concept of sleep and the mix of things. And you're right. We don't only have shows and thousands of channels. Now we have TikToks and stuff that don't end. You can literally spend hours, just scrolling up and down the TikTok world, and you're never going to end it. Facebook, stuff. I mean, it's really amazing. And you're like closer with that. There's the lights, the blue lights are coming into your brains, and it activates you more. It's you can't sleep, and so you're right. It's a lot of things. But again, this is you have to have discipline with fitness and lifestyle of healthy lifestyles. You have to have discipline. This is everything else in one package. Is not just one piece versus it's a full package, and you have to apply all these things equally and in the right amounts and consistently, because otherwise things don't work out. This is not something, again, that you're going to do and just I saw results, that's it. The results are just going to vary based on what you put in and how long you're going to do it.
Exactly. And to your point about going back to the blue light, it would be great. And I know it's so hard. I love TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I love making those TikTok videos. Our brains need time to wind down. So if you can shut your phone off at least an hour before you go to bed, and I know that's really hard, to get your brain to calm down, because if you are looking at it and then go to sleep, it's hard to get the quality sleep that you need because your brain is still thinking about what you just watched. Now, motivation, talked about motivation. People are like, I'm not motivated. Sometimes you just have to adult up and make yourself do it. And the more you make yourself do it and the more consistent you are, you'll be motivated because you feel great. But a lot of times in the beginning, there's not going to be motivation. And you have to remember, what's your big reason? What's your why? Do you want to be able to play with your grandkids? Do you want to be able to get up off the ground? Do you want to feel great when you go on vacation? Whatever that big why is, put it on a sticky note and put it somewhere where you can always see it, because that's going to be your motivation. Because there's days where we all don't feel great and don't want to go to the gym and are nice and cozy in our house when the weather's bad. But it has got to be, like you, daily part of your life. And the more you do it, the better you feel.
Thank you for that. Well, actually, that is a big point, because people are motivated by a lot of things. And I mean, we all wake up and still, even if you don't like your job, whatever you do, you still get up and go because you got to get the paycheck, right? You got to pay the bills. And, that's money, and we can put money into the wealth, but there's nothing more than health. Health is real wealth, because without it, you can't even work. I mean, that's it. You're done. So that in itself, I mean, if that doesn't motivate us, we have issues. And I think everybody watching and listening, I mean, that's a key message from Pam and myself, is that if you're out there, you have to, your health should be your priority number one, because if you're healthy, you just said it, you can play with your kids, you can have a better life with your partner, you have, your grandkids, you can have a better time on vacation, you can do things on vacation. Otherwise, you're just not going to be doing anything. You can be looking at things from a distance, from your balcony, but that's it. But you want to be active, you can't. You want to do things in general and be able, even work. If you're not fit enough and you're tired and stuff, you can't even perform correctly. So it affects even your money making, concept here. So there's more to this than people think. I mean, I know some folks at the gym that they come in early, and before 9 o'clock, they already finished their gym workout, 6, 5, 7 a.m., whatever. They do a couple hours, whatever, shower, get ready, and then they shoot out right from there. Or some people do the opposite. You come back from work, you hit the gym, you get a nice shower, and you go to crash and sleep, and that's it. So whatever works. I mean, that's the other thing. Time. We talk time is a very, nobody has time. But we all do have time. We just have to make the time. And by the way, we don't have to do it 7 days a week either. What would you recommend in your formula a good frequency for workout, and how long would those workouts will last for?
Sure. Well, first of all, we all make time for the things that we want to do.
Yes.
Every day. That being said, our bodies are meant to move. I think we should be daily walking, unless you're covered in snow. I mean, that's a whole different story. But there's movement that we should be doing every day, because our bodies are meant to move every day. Now, actual exercise, I think, should be a 4 or 5 day a week pursuit, with 3 to 4 of those days being strength training. And the other days, again, what you love: yoga, Pilates, a group exercise class. That's great. Something where you leave and you're like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. But making sure you get the strength in there. If you're just starting out, let's start with 2 to 3 days a week. Once you are on the regular, 4 to 5 days. And it's not going to be, so many people don't know how good they're going to feel. And they look at it like, oh, it's such a chore. But then when you get into the groove, you and I know this, it's not a chore. It's awesome. I go to bed thinking, what am I going to do in the morning? Like, I get so excited about my workout, well, coffee and my workout when I go to bed.
Coffee is good. I guess all fitness people love coffee. I mean, you need that caffeine, right? I mean, listen, I mean, there's been a lot of, I had a show yesterday and we discussed this. Coffee is up in the list in terms of, it's not what we think. And as long as it's not polluted with other things, it's still good for you. So, and again, the right coffee, but you're right. I mean, it gets you going, but you're right. It's about, if we all find the time to do things that we want, if there's a will, there's a way. People find the money. Sometimes that's the other thing. Oh, I don't have money to go to gym. I don't have money to get into a program, blah, blah, blah. You said it, YouTube. I mean, hello, you don't pay for it. You can just go in and take a few, daily. You can watch any other shows and do different exercises and at your own pace. It's not even live. You just do your own thing. So the excuses, I mean, are the biggest thing. You got to be stronger than excuses, as the saying goes. But if you're not, again, you're only hurting yourself. Yeah, I mean, I love the way you said it. Is like we find the time to do whatever we love. Well, let's get in love with ourselves, and that's really where your body and your health comes in. And you can do this through fitness and all the stuff that you described. The whole balance is attainable.
It is one step at a time, not changing everything, but adding little things in every day, making sure you have at least a cup of water with every cup of coffee. That's huge. And then planning in when you're going to work out, because so many people think, oh, I'll just work out today. No, you're not, because we're all busy. When are you? Are you a morning person? Get it done first thing in the morning, and then there's no more excuses. Or are you the after work person? But I tell people to put it in their calendar like a doctor's appointment, non-negotiable doctor's appointment, because it is actually preventing you from going to the doctor once you are on a routine and you know, are regular and get super healthy. But it's not. So many people think of it as, oh, it's negotiable, I don't have to. You should. For your long-term happiness and health, you absolutely should.
Well, you know, it's funny you said that because we started the show talking about the people that come into a gym and then there's like, you know, 2-3 weeks and then they disappear, right? But because a lot of the standard gym or the big box gyms, right? I mean, it's cheap enough that, you know, you could pay $20 and, you know, forget about it.
Yeah.
But if you invest in something a lot more expensive, you're probably going to want to get your money's worth. And so that's the other part that people, you know, have to consider. Your life is worth a lot more and your body is worth a lot more, and your health is, to your point, if you're not healthy, you're going to wind up in those doctors' offices. We have nothing against our doctors, you know, we love them. But again, even the doctors want you to stay healthy. You know, they don't want to see you unless they have to, or at least on your routine, but they don't want to see you sick or like, you know, in a bad shape. And that's exactly the point. Neither do you, does your family. If you're not healthy, you're not good to anyone around you. We had COVID. You know, it's been very well demonstrated that people who had, you know, more fitness and healthier lifestyles were able to manage the COVID, you know, when they were afflicted with it in a better way than those who had a less less happier or less, you know, active lifestyle in terms of fitness and health. So it's a big deal. Your immune system is different. You know, if you're active and working out and things like that, your body is going to respond differently to a lot of things. You know, injuries, the accident, you said it clearly. I mean, that even the recuperating of your muscle, even if you broke a bone, your body is different if you are healthier. And if you have all these other problems, your body is fighting all the other stuff. It's not going to fight anything new. And that's another challenge. So listen, I am so happy that we had this discussion because you've touched on a lot of areas that are dear to me personally. And I know people want to hear about them. And you're very encouraging because you are giving them an out, you know, very easy. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to do a lot of things. And you can do this. Everybody can. At any given age group, you can do it. It's not like, you know, limited to, you have to be young and vibrant to do this. You can be vibrant at any age. And that's the other thing. So what would you tell us about, you know, like your formula, like start to finish? If I were to start with you or, you know, somebody else, what would be like your plan for them? Let's say just as a startup, someone who's new.
Well, I would have them walk 10 minutes twice a day just to get them moving. A new person is probably going to want to lose weight. So I'd have them write down or put in MyFitnessPal everything they eat, which they're like, I can't help you lose weight unless I know what you eat. And then I would actually send them from my YouTube channel 2 different 10-minute workouts just to start, because I have to start moving their bodies. And when people go, you know, I've had many people ask me for meal plans, and I say, I'm not going to meal plan for you. You have to figure out how to eat for the rest of your life. But I want you to focus your meals around protein and fiber. That's going to keep you full. Let's avoid the, you know, processed stuff, all the high sugary stuff, all the stuff that's around during the holidays. And let's eat food mostly grown from the ground. But daily movement matters. If you have a dog, take your dog out a couple times a day. If you are waiting for your coffee, if you have a Keurig, go to your kitchen counter and do some push-ups every day. What if you did 10 push-ups every time you had a cup of coffee? If you have 5 cups of coffee, that's 50 push-ups. As well as I would give them balance exercises, because we, just like muscle, we lose balance as we age. And it's so funny. People tell me, oh, my balance is terrible. And I'm like, do you work on it? And they say no. I'm like, well, it's going to be bad if you don't work on it. Let's work on it. So little baby steps. And water is an issue for a lot of people. So I just say, please record how much water you drink. And I have a very, very scientific way to tell if you are hydrated enough. You ready?
Go for it.
Okay. By noon, your urine should look like light lemonade. That's it. If it's,
I'm sorry. I was expecting something
no,
more.
That's it. If it's not light lemonade, you need to drink more water. Okay. If it's root beer, that's bad. If it's apple juice, that's bad. You need all our organs need water to function. So let's get more water in. So really easy baby steps to get started.
I'm sorry, that was funny.
I know.
I just can't get you just described it in a very smooth way. It's like it's perfect. I mean, I love it. But that shows that you know what you're talking about. You know, it's very easy to make it acceptable, because at the end of the day, you're right. That's exactly what it is. And it's important. I mean, hydrating is key to everything, and even your internal organs. I mean, your kidneys and all that stuff need a lot of water. And if you're doing exercise without it, you can have severe problems. That's the other thing. You cannot work out without, dehydrated, because I've known of people actually or people's stories where people died because they did not have enough hydration and they were in intense training and their kidneys shut down. This is real. It can happen. So there's so many things. Hydration is key. Now I knew you mentioned the books, 8 books.
Yeah.
So can you share a couple of titles of the books, and we will have, I'll have the link, where they can, I guess, get the books. Folks can get the books. And lastly, I want to ask, how can people join the tribe?
Sure. Well, when I found a gal who made my website, I told her I wanted to do a weekly newsletter. She said, well, okay, when people sign up for the newsletter, you need to give them something. So I would, my daughter was actually a junior in college or high school when I got hit. So she would come home from school and she would do her homework, and I would write until I got a headache, because I think my brain was recovering from my accident. And I would write, and then I gave it to her, and she said, Pam, this is a book. I just wanted like your 10 best tips for healthy living. I'm like, I could do that in 60 seconds. So my first book I wrote without even knowing it. And it's called The Perfect Balanced Guide to Healthy Living. Just like what we're talking about, very basic stuff if you don't know where to start. And shortly after that, a friend of mine from college, her daughter called me up and she's like, Pam, I'm terrified of gaining the freshman 15. Can you help? And I said, not only can I help because I gained the freshman 30, I can write a book for you. Very similar. None of this is anything that I research or hard to read. It's all personal life experience. My daughter played competitive soccer as a high school soccer player. Her teammates, I would go train them once a week, and they would tell me what they ate. It was awful. So I wrote a book, Nutrition for Athletes, really for high school kids, not college kids, because they have a whole sports team behind them. But let's not eat Taco Bell, right? I mean, you're flying all over the country to play in big tournaments. Let's fuel your body in the right way. So a lot of them are very basic. I have a couple workbooks because so many of my clients, they think big, but they don't make an action plan on how to reach their goals. So it's talking about short-term goals, long-term goals, and then making action plans. And what's your big why? And talking about people that want to sabotage you. Family members are the worst. Things like that. And my last one, my Perfect Balanced Tribe, is based around the 3 M's: movement, motivation, and mindful eating. So it's a daily journal to talk about what's your motivation today, how are you going to move, what's your motivation, to get people in the habit, because so many people don't have good habits. So it's called the Daily 3M Journal. And I'm really proud of that, because like I said, I just want to support people and help them do the right thing and feel better in their own skin. Well,
it seems you've been doing a great job, and you've helped a lot of people. I love actually the themes of the books. And you said something clear that is very important for people to realize. Your books are coming from real experience and from your own beliefs. And so that makes the books a lot more juicy and direct. And that's a big deal. I mean, you can have a sci-fi book, you can have a fiction book that's just creative imagination, but when it's based on some stuff that is experienced, it's much clearer, closer to people's heart and to their basic daily stuff. And so that makes a big difference in the quality and the content of the book. So Again, thank you for sharing that. That's great. And I love those 3 M's because again, we talked about discipline and habits. And if you're not really seeing things sometimes is a key element. I mean, I was talking to my son the other day, and he's actually showing me his goals and he's putting it on the board. And so I'm like, okay. so stuff works. I mean, you got to visualize it and listen. So how can people register with you? Like, if they wanted to join, like I said, the tribe and become a member with you specifically.
Everything is through my website. It's theperfectbalance.guru. They can join the tribe. They can buy my books. I have a shop with my favorite sayings like "You're stronger than you know." You can do anything for 10 seconds. I have water bottles and t-shirts and stickers and all sorts of fun stuff.
And they can also join your group, and I'm sure in Facebook, or that's open to everybody, or only your members.
No, my Facebook group. It's a membership site, so it's $14.99 a month. I over deliver. I have so much information for you. I post daily motivation. We have contests. I have my weekly lives, and I'm very accessible to my members. They can message me anytime through Facebook. Some of them are like, "I just need your help. Can I keep my food journal for you?" Of course you can. So it's just, and it's a very supportive group of everybody wants to support everybody else. It's a really nice community of mostly women, 2 guys.
Well, listen, again, it's all good, right? The 2 guys are there and they listen, they enjoying whatever, they're having a good time, they're learning, they're getting fit. It's all good. But
Yeah.
but I know that the majority or everybody on the group is benefiting overall, and getting a better health, better, even mentally. I mean, when you're feeling good, your mental state is better. So it's like those two go hand in hand. I mean, you can't differentiate one. If your mental state is bad, everything else is bad. If your body is not good, your mental state is not good. So you have to balance both. And again, when you have that environment, you have a support group, and you have people that share the same values and ambition, it ends that. I mean, everything becomes much better there. So that's awesome, Pam. I mean, we've exceeded our hour. Just about. I think it was great. Thank you for all the insights. I mean, I had fun. I mean, I don't know how you feel.
Always. Thank you. No, it was wonderful. My cheeks hurt from smiling so much. It was such a fun conversation.
That's good exercise, right? The endorphins are kicking too, so it's all good. Well, you still what, 3 hours behind, so you got plenty of time. I'm gonna start winding down now. So I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I'm all excited right now. So but certainly, so thank you so much for being with us and sharing, and I will definitely encourage people listening and watching to check out Pam's site and her Facebook. Well, Facebook is certainly, if you want to join the group and membership. And again, your YouTube channel is available so people can actually see real things, and if they like what they see, they should ultimately go to your site, right?
Yeah, and my YouTube channel is The Perfect Balance, and you could do one of my stretches tonight to help yourself wind down.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And you know what? Take the challenge, folks. If you're listening, watching right now, do it. Why not? Right? It's free. Just Google it up, and that's it. Well, listen. Thank you so much, and folks. It's been real. It's great to have Pam with us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening in, and we'll be talking soon. New show, new guest, new topic. Bye for now.